The time I had a stalker. Here we go. I used to have a stalker. I was 19 years old. This man was in his mid 40s. I believe he was 45 years old. He was friends with my family. The way they became friends was because this guy was sleeping in his vehicle and he just so happened to be sleeping in my neighborhood. So he befriended my stepdad, then my mother. Then he will constantly be over the house. Eventually, this guy developed a crush on me. He made it very obvious, the way he spoke to me, the way he looked at me, and so on. Even though I never said more than two words to him. He even told my mother that he had a crush on me, to which my mother just thought it was funny, right? She just laughed it off. I thought it was weird. Anyways, this went on for almost a year. One time, I came home and he sees me. He's hanging out with my family in the living room, and he sees me and he goes, "Hey, I went to your college the other day and I was driving around looking for your vehicle and I didn't see your car, so I just left." Excuse me, sir? You were driving around my college looking for my car, and because you didn't see my vehicle, you left the area? What were you even doing looking for my car? You know? So I was so weirded out when he told me that. I didn't even ask why was he there? Why was he looking for my vehicle? I just got weirded out and walked away. So that was the first incident. The second, not to mention, let me just add something. After this happened, after he told me this, I would constantly be looking around. So every time I would go to my college, you're looking for parking, I would constantly be looking around for his vehicle because he weirded me out when he said that to me, right? And I'm like, if he did it once, he's going to do it again. So that's the first incident. The second incident, and probably honestly the cherry on top for me, was that I had surgery, you guys. I had surgery. I won't go into details about that, but I had surgery and I was recovering at the hospital. And out of nowhere, this man shows up and he goes, "Oh, hi, how are you? How you doing? How you're feeling? I had trouble finding your room, but here I am." Like if I was expecting him. I'm assuming my family probably told him that I was in the hospital and he just thought he could just show up, and visit me. And then when he's there, which wasn't for very long, probably 5 minutes tops, because I wasn't really talking to him. I wasn't really answering his questions. I was being like, yes, no, like so uninterested, right? Because I was just so weirded out by him. So, anyways, let me see, where's my little clips here? So when he's there, he tells me, "Oh, I went to church the other day, and I told the priest that we should pray for you, so we all pray for you." Now you may think, well, isn't that a good thing that he's praying for you? That why is that a bad thing? And it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just the fact that he's so obsessive. Why are you so obsessive? By the way, I'm using bobby pins. It's like, why are you so obsessive? Anyways, eventually he gets the hint that I'm uncomfortable and he ends up leaving. And I remember as soon as he left, it was funny because my nurse walks in the room and I think she thought that he was just a random guy. I don't think she thought that I knew him because, well, he didn't last very long, right? He left pretty fast. And she goes, "Who was that guy? He's so weird." It's funny how she just felt the vibe, but I remember her saying that. So that incident really like there's I get that he had a crush on me, but to go to the hospital, after my surgery, after I'm recovering and going through this hard time, and he goes there like if we're besties or, like it's just such an uncomfortable position to be in, because there's not really much you can do. You're laying in the bed or like not feeling great and, hoping to go home soon. And then this guy who's obsessed with you just shows up out of nowhere. So that's one incident. In fact, I remember when I came home from the hospital, guess who was there? Mr. Stalker. He was there. He's there. He's like, "Oh, How are you feeling? I'm glad you're back home. And then that's all he said. And then he, as he's walking away, out of my house, he goes, hope to see you soon. Like, what? Like, I'm telling you, this guy was a weirdo, complete weirdo. And let me see. Oh, eventually, I guess he felt my rejection. He felt that I was not interested. He felt that I was not going to, date him. I was not going to, there was never going to be anything between us. I think he got the hint. So he gets a girlfriend, right? And look at what this guy does. He will go to my house, and as soon as I got home, from college or wherever I was hanging out that day, he would literally pull out his cell phone and would start calling his girlfriend and purposely talking to her in front of me. Hi, baby. How are you? I miss you. I love you. Like, and then he will look at me like, how more obvious can you possibly make it that you're purposely trying to make me jealous, or going out of your way to, talk to your girlfriend? And one time, you know, I was hanging out with my brother's friend. I wasn't even hanging out with him. This is what ended up happening. I was home. By the way, my stalker was not at the house. I guess he was out and about somewhere, right? But he was hanging out with my brother's friend, at our house, right? And by the way, my stalker had never seen this guy before, right? So my brother got distracted, right? Because he got a phone call. So what I ended up doing is I ended up, like talking to him, and because, he was there in the living room sitting down, and so was I. So I started talking to him, and then we started poking jokes at my brother, like, oh my God, like he's taking so long. And, just cracking jokes back and forth, me and him. And out of nowhere, my stalker shows up, right? And he sees me talking to my brother's friend. I guess he assumed that's my boyfriend or something. I don't know what he was thinking. But he, I remember he mugged my brother's friend. Like he literally, I got the camera angles. Hopefully you guys can see. But he mugs my brother's friend, you guys. And I remember feeling like so uncomfortable because you can't just walk into someone's house and assume that you can just be disrespectful, Even if that was my boyfriend, like what right does it give you to, barge in and like act like you have some kind of say? So he mugs my brother's friend. And then he goes over to the kitchen, right, where my mom is. And then they start talking about just random things, right? And I can overhear what they're saying, right? It's just like normal conversation. And so I take advantage of that and I tell my brother's friend, like, hey, don't mind him. He's obsessed with me and he's constantly, I could give him like a quick rundown, right? He's constantly coming to the house. He probably mugged you because he thinks you're my boyfriend. And so my brother's friend, he goes, oh, really? Huh? Okay. And that's all he says. Eventually, my stalker walks back inside into the living room area, right? So he walks back in, and I remember my my brother's friend purposely to annoy him because he clearly saw that I found this guy to be very annoying, right? He goes, "Hey babe, you want to go to the movies tonight?" And then I play along with it, right? I'm like, "Oh, yeah, like that sounds great." He's like, "Yeah, don't forget to pack because we need to go to that trip we planned." And then we're just like talking like that back and forth, pretending like we're dating. And then he walks out of the house so annoyed. He even mugged me, you guys. He mugged me. And eventually my brother comes out, and like starts talking to his friend, and I just like look out the window and I see that he just drives off, like fast, like trying to make it seem like, oh my God, I'm so annoyed, I'm so mad. And then we tell my brother what just happened, and we were just laughing, you guys. But ever since that, he never like came around again. Like I think I saw him twice after that, but I guess his main reason for being there was, well, me. And after he saw that, you know, I guess I had a boyfriend, he just didn't really have a reason to come over to the house anymore. But that's the story of my stalker. And oh my god, my stomach's making noises. But yes, that's the story of my stalker. One of my stalkers. I do have another stalker that I used to have, but um, yeah, this is the story, and I hope you enjoyed. I need to untangle her hair right now, so I'll probably do that. Give her some good brushes. There we go. But I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I also want to say thank you to everyone that's been watching my videos, subscribe to my channel, your comments. I do appreciate them. So thank you so much, you know, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.